course, we all know that automobile transportation is about being mobile. What about mobile in the auto? Literally, what's happening these days in terms of wireless communication? And with me to talk about that is Liz Kerton, who is Executive Director of the AutoTech Council. And Liz, thanks for being with us here.
Absolutely.
So what is going on in terms of how advanced are we in safety applications in the vehicles these days? And kind of where do you think we're going?
Wow, safety is such an important part of the car. And all of the decisions that the car manufacturers make have that kind of safety firewall on it. It's imperative that any application and any technology, any sensors that are going into the car meet the safety and distracted driving requirements of the car OEM. So those are deal breakers either way, and the car OEMs will make that decision right up front. You can bring them a nice app that has too many buttons for the dashboard, and they'll write you off right away. Those buttons are too small, they're in the wrong place. I need a yes/no button, and that's it.
And the development community hears that message.
They do, and part of the way around it in some cases is, so there's a difference between what we call tethered car and embedded. So a tethered car would be, I come in with my phone, I plug it in, and I get a nice display on the dash, and I get all of my apps from my phone right into my car, and that's tethering. So the internet service would be used from AT&T by the driver. The other is embedded. So the car has its own internet connection, and your car is charging you $10 a month to connect to the wireless network. In the embedded situation, the car company has all the control over the apps that are being displayed, and in the tethered situation, you as the consumer have access and control over it. So you could potentially put very unsafe applications into the dashboard in the tethered model.
And what about the conflict, or not to say conflict, maybe just the existing tension between, in terms of development cycles? Cars we know are on the drawing board forever, right?
Yeah.
And it takes a long time to bring
Absolutely.
something to market. In the wireless development community, it's now.
It
so
is.
there's just a natural tension there.
There is, and that's actually one of the reasons that the AutoTech Council exists. Because the auto OEMs and the tier 1 vendors have been slowly opening their eyes to the fact that they need to work with entrepreneurs, and they need to work with, they can't build all of the software and have all of the ideas themselves. So they need to work with third parties, but third parties don't know about all of the requirements of the car. Safety, as you mentioned, being top priority, but reliability, things can't break, and these really long development cycles that the OEMs have. In the case of a venture-funded startup, you can't really ask your VC for three years of runway, right? You need to have, you need
look
to
at
show
you with their
some,
eyes crossed and you're out of your mind,
exactly.
right?
They say, no, this $2 million I gave you, you need to get to revenue, so I don't know how you're going to do it. Go find another consumer and not the car company. So it is challenging, and the reason that the AutoTech Council is there to help this communication is the OEMs want to use startups, but they don't know how to communicate. They don't know how to move fast. They don't have right now a way for the startups to actually enter into the development cycle of the cars. They're starting in the Silicon Valley right now. We have 12 OEMs, from a 250-person facility with Mercedes-Benz to 5 people who represent Renault right now. And some of them do venture funds, like Hyundai has a venture fund, and GM has a venture fund, and some of them are basically doing R&D and looking for startups that way. So they're engaging. They're moving slowly, as the big bad OEMs have a tendency to do, and the startups are starting to figure out that safety and reliability is something they need to build into all of their products.
So if you look at driver safety, as we think about it, we think about the driver, but what about the car itself? What kind of technology is being placed into the car that ultimately tells the operator you're behaving maybe erratically or responsibly or whatever?
There's an entire category of innovation right now. It's called ADAS, and it's automated driving systems, and it helps the car use all of these massive amounts of sensors. The latest Volvo was released with 60 sensors in it. The number of sensors in the Google car is phenomenal, and the amount of data that it generates. And they're using location sensors. They're using, in some cases, vehicle-to-vehicle communication, vehicle-to-infrastructure, so communicating between the car and the street lights and the car and the stop sign. But the visual sensors can help you know if you're going out of the lane, and if the car behind you is too close. It can regulate your braking, or it can pre-brake for you. You know, that millisecond between the time you take your foot off the ground to put it on the brake pedal, if the car's already braking for you, it would get you stopped a lot faster. So a lot of these sensors and safety products are coming out. And they're not all, luckily, being developed by the OEMs. They are going to third parties, and they are outsourcing a lot of this.
Well, it's a rich new world, right?
It is.
Yeah, right,
It is.
good.
It's machine-to-machine Internet of Things explosion.
Right, on the highways.
Yep.
Well, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely.
We appreciate that. Always a pleasure.
Absolutely, thank you.